All right, guys. So now let's get started with the real work. We're going to program a basic flash loan hands-on together. Okay. Before we get started, think about the concept what a flash loan is. Flash loans let us borrow without having a risk or any opportunity cost. Let us really freeze the time and space, and then in between that, we can perform different actions on the blockchain and make a profit. All right. So in order to set up a flash loan, we need to go to the Remix IDE. An IDE stands for an Integrated Developer Environment. So as you potentially also already saw this during the Ethereum 101 and Ethereum 201 developer course, we are using Ethereum has developed a IDE. An IDE is very useful. That's basically when you use Visual Studio or Sublime Text or PHP Storm or Visual Studio Code. You also have an environment, and there is like different plugins that you can use for different code sets. And the Ethereum Foundation developed Remix so that you as a developer have all the tools online to program different smart contracts and to play around with the Solidity protocol and to deploy your concept, to test your concepts, etc., etc. We're going to Remix. We have to open up this tab. Later, we will give you all the instructions that you need to start interacting with Remix. We will do this in the hands-on Zoom video, which I will explain to you later. All right. Next up, before we can actually interact and start deploying smart contracts and start interacting with the Ethereum blockchain, we need to get some test ETH. We need to get some test Ethereum from the Kovan testnet. We can do this by going to the faucet.kovan.network. Link is in the description below. We log in with our GitHub account. If you don't have a GitHub account, I would highly recommend that you get one. You see here, this faucet allows you to request KETH once every 24 hours. So this allows me to get test ETH into my wallet. There's also other ways to do that. And also, if you need more Kovan test ETH, you can always send me a private message and I will send you a lot of test ETH if you need it and if you want to play around with flash loans. Okay, then let's go to our MetaMask. If you have followed DeFi 101, you should already have MetaMask installed. You should know how to do this. If you're not aware or don't know how to do this or need a memory refresh on this, go back to DeFi 101 and I will explain there in depth how to install MetaMask. All right, from our main network, you switch to our Kovan network, and then here you select your address that you want to use in your flash loan that we're gonna create. Click here and copy the address, paste it in here, and they will then send us the ETH. Okay, as you can see here, I already requested that. So let's log in again. I'll use a different address. Let's use this one, the old address from DeFi 101 that we used. Now let's send some ETH. Yeah, and there we go. And we can see the ETH has been sent and it's on our way to our wallet. If we open it up, we will see in a little bit that we actually now have, you see here, 1 ETH has been transferred to this address and the transaction is pending. And it's now successful. Check our wallet. And then here you go. We have 1 ETH that we can now use, send, or do whatever we want to do with it, right? All right. Next up is preparation to program our flash loan. We need to get some Aave Kovan testnet assets. So we're gonna do a Aave flash loan. We're gonna use the Aave protocol to do so. And in order for us to do that, we also need to pay a little bit of fees. So the fees that we're gonna, we will have to pay the fees in DAI or in USDC or whatever we want to do a flash loan with. In our basic flash loan example, we're gonna do a DAI flash loan. So we're gonna borrow around $10,000 worth of DAI. So in order to get testnet tokens, we're gonna go to testnet.aave.com be sure to have your MetaMask switched to the Govan testnet, and then you click here to the faucet. I actually link directly to this link. Click on the faucet and you can see all the different test assets here that we have available. Click faucet and then submit, and then what's happening, a transaction comes up. You need to pay a little bit of gas in test ETH that we just acquired. Say confirm, transaction is confirmed on the blockchain, submit it, and then in a little bit you will see that we will actually get test ETH to our blockchain address. If you don't see, so let's see this on the blockchain. If you are not able, you say you submitted your request for the faucet. You say I want to have test DAI into my account, and you don't see it. Then what you need to do, you need to add that token to your wallet. Also, this is also explained in DeFi 101, but I will show you again how this exactly works. See here, if it doesn't show up here, I have a lot of different test tokens, and if it doesn't show up, you just add the token. You say, okay, we want to have some test DAI, and we go into the DAI contract. We're going to look up the DAI contract itself, and then we paste that contract address into our browser. Here we go. Close this. Let's paste it here. Here we go. And then we should find the contract source of DAI and then add that contract source of DAI into our MetaMask, so the DAI token will show up. You can actually search here DAI. It will add the token. I already have DAI in my stack, so that's fine. If it's a custom token, in this case it is a custom token because it's a DAI. It's DAI from Aave. You can paste the contract address here, and it will automatically show you the token symbol and the decimal points correctly. Okay, up next. Well, next up, we're going to operate the flash loan. So in the next video, there is a Zoom session with Rob and myself, and we're going to show you how to operate a basic flash loan. In our example, we did a flash loan for $10,000. The reason it's only $10,000 because of the test DAI pool, and the testnet Aave pool is not that big. But in theory, we could do a flash loan as big as the complete pool of assets of Aave. And so we're going to show that to you. Rob and myself, we're also working on other projects in the space. So I thought it was nice to include them here as well. And we're going to show you hands-on how to actually operate this basic flash loan. All right, so we will use in the basic flash loan, we will use this GitHub repository that I also linked in the description below. And of course, if you have questions or you want to discuss something, please go to the Ivan on Tech forum, or Toshi Times forum. What you can also do, if you are busy with the assignment, as you can see here, we drafted out all the basic steps that we will do for the flash loan assignment. We gave you all the different links. These are basically for the 3 assignments. If you have a question or an issue, or maybe a request, or maybe you want us to create another example, or you want us to make some changes, well, what you can then do is create an issue. You go to the issue tab and you create a new issue, and then we will respond to that as soon as possible. All right, guys, thank you. And I see you in the next video where we're going to do hands-on flash loan together.